You guys ready to be blown away?
Yes, sir.
Well, guys, happy Monday. Thank you, Jesus, for another day of life. We're here. We're rolling. Appreciate your guys' time, as always, coming in here to listen to us as we preview the opponent and what we're going to get going. So, first off, though, for the Saturday's game, man, proud of our team finding a way to win. And November's the compete month, and that's what we talk about with our team. And each week, we know we're going to get a team's best, and we have to earn the right to make sure we play our best every single opportunity, as we know different going down to play San Jose State this weekend. But proud of our guys on finding a way to finish the game. There's a lot of things that we need to continue to learn and grow in all three phases, and mistakes happen, and we got to get them fixed. And that's the exciting part that we have as a coaching staff and players to do. But I'm proud of our team being resilient. There's a lot of good football we did on Saturday, but we made some mistakes and we didn't execute in situations that maybe prior we had. But hats off to Nevada. We knew we were going to get their best, and they came out and played hard. But I'm very proud of our team finding a way to win the game and continue to stay in the fight. And there's so many different plays in that game that some go our way, some don't, and that's football. And we got to continue as coaches to pinpoint ways from practice to prep to grow these three phases. It's not something out there that's, we got to figure this out. Like, we know we can look at the film and know the issues we got to clean up, and I'm excited to do so. But so proud of our team. I really do believe in years past we probably don't find a way to win that game. And that's a testament to our players. Stay in the fight. There was no frustration with our guys outside of maybe the initial play itself. Like, they stayed together, they stayed in the fight, and they found a way to win. So proud of our guys, and we know going forward that we have a huge test this Saturday versus San Jose State. I think the world of Coach Niumatalolo and their team, and so we know we need to be prepared and have our best week of practice to go earn the right to play our best Saturday afternoon. So with that, open it up for questions.
You said in the past you probably don't find a way to win that game. What's changed and how do you see that?
Yeah, it's a testament to our players, Mike. I can think of a couple games that you're in that are kind of, things are happening where it's turnovers and things are kind of going back and forth, that I can think of, a couple different games that you end up losing, and you're like, man, we had it. What kind of went wrong? We lost it. And I just think it's our group. It's these players. It's nothing I'm doing. Promise you that. It's a testament to these players and what they work and how much they love each other and finding a way to win those games. Now we got to make sure that we continue to learn and grow every single week, because we have to improve from game 9 to game 10. No different than we've tried to do each and every season. I thought our guys had a great week of practice last week, from how they prepped, their process in general. On Saturday we didn't execute consistently enough, but we did do a lot of good things. We found a way to win the game.
You've talked a lot about this season, about the work Maddox has put in, and he even said it after the game. It was one of the worst games he's played here. What have you seen from him, and have you just how personally he's taken that game?
Yeah, he watched obviously leaving the game. He had his thoughts on the game, and he's going to watch the film and continue to learn and grow. And he's a relentless competitor, and just like anything, there's going to be fundamentals and techniques and reads that he missed that he needs to get fixed, and he will. And there's plenty of examples of him doing it right, and now we just got to continue to make sure it's consistent. But just like anything, that happens. And you look at over the years, not only just college football, but over the years, you have those type of games that they're dirty. There's things going on both sides, that things are going kind of weird. It's kind of a funky game, and you find a way to win. And that's a testament to our team finding a way to win those tough, hard-fought games. But even in regards to Maddox, there's a lot of things on film that I'm proud of him. There's a lot of things on film that I know he needs to improve on, and no one's going to want to do it more than Maddox. So proud of him. He's our leader. He's our quarterback, and I know he's going to.
Do you have an update on Tubner and his injury?
Not yet. We're going to get a lot of information today. He worked out this morning, was able to do some stuff, but we're going to get an update today from our doctors of kind of what that looks like for Alex.
Spencer, I think it's kind of significant for a number of reasons. If I don't want to speculate too much, but what can you say about who's got to step up for you guys really on defense with him out, and not in terms of just ability, but communication, all that?
Yeah, Jay, make no bones about it. Alexander Tubner is a huge part of our entire team, not just in the production he has defensively, but who he is in regards to the heartbeat of our team. So next man up, and someone's got to carry the flag, and that's going around across college football. Next man up, we're working through it I know our defensive staff is looking at some things, especially as we wait to see kind of what's going on with him. And it's going to be next man up. We're gonna have to find multiple ways to not only in regards to our personnel, making some changes and adjustments, and we're going to make sure we have the best plan of attack ready. But it's also going to be the leadership part of it. And I know, knowing Tubes, he's going to be locked in every single thing he's doing, and he's going to be still a huge leader on our team as we wait to find out what's going on.
Would the plan potentially still be Zion if, you know, communicating or in the green dot, if that's right, I guess have
Yeah,
to go?
no, yeah, good question, Jay. I mean, we're still going to look at that defensively and see, you know, who's going to, if Tubes doesn't play, who's going to get the coach-to-player communication, what are some personnels we're going to get into differently. There's a lot of things that we're kind of working through to make sure we put our best guys out there.
San Jose's number 5 in the country in passing, they got the number 1 receiver, so what makes their passing attack go? And then we've seen some good receivers. How does Nash compare with the guys from Utah State?
Yeah, I mean, first off, Coach Niumatalolo has done a phenomenal job and has done a really good job for a long time. I had the pleasure of meeting him when we played UCLA in the bowl game. He was one of the assistants there last season. Admired him from afar for a lot of years, not only just as a football coach, but how he's handled his business, and was able to pick his brain a little bit at the bowl game. And so I think the world of him. You see what he's done at San Jose State in all 3 phases. I mean, they're playing some really good football right now at 6-3. I mean, I've talked to multiple teams that have played them, and this is a really good football team. We're going to play in all 3 phases. In regards to their offense, I mean, Nick Nash is, you know, top receiver in the country, and he deserves it. Talked to a lot of coaches that have played against him. I mean, he's big time. He's strong. He can go up and make the catches. And I remember when Nick Nash was kind of like their backup, you know, like running quarterback that they used. I mean, he had a double pass for a touchdown, I think, against Nevada, if I'm not mistaken. He's a big time football player. Makes all the catches. An actually matchup nightmare for defenses. And that's, you know, I see him being one of the heartbeat of their team. They do a great job with attacking defenses. They do a really good job, turning up the pace so that not only the quarterback can see the coverage shell, but also their offensive coordinator can talk to the quarterback and kind of tell them, you know, some thoughts, where to go with the ball, when to run the RPO. They do a really good job with their run schemes, putting you in conflict. And they obviously, you know, they're one of the top passing offenses in the entire country, but they keep you very honest around the football. They got a really good run scheme. I think one of their running backs are, you know, some of the better ones we've seen, especially executing the schemes they need to. And when you have a receiver like Nick Nash, and the rest of them are really good too. I mean, you're not number 5 in the country in passing offense with just one receiver. But Nick Nash, I mean, I very, very impressed really getting into the film on him and the kind of plays he makes. And like I said, I believe he's one of the heartbeat of their team. Defensively, I mean, I think they lead the nation in interceptions. That's a big time stat. And that, first off, that shows the relentlessness with which this defense plays with. And Coach Odom's done a really good job for a long time. You know, he does a great job rotating the front. I mean, they're fresh. They're on the attack. I mean, they get into a lot of different either A pressures to max drops. They got one of the better corners on the West Coast. They got a couple safeties that can make all the tackles cover. Their linebackers can run sideline to sideline. Been impressed kind of seeing the different front structures they give you as well, from some 3 downs to 4 down. And they've done a really good job. I mean, they're one of the better scoring defenses in our conference too. And they are going to be on the attack special teams wise. I mean, they've converted multiple fakes. You know, they go into every game to win, and that's a testament to their record right now. And once again, I know they're going to be well coached. We're on the road. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and we're going to get their best. It's a really good football team.
You've had success.
How is Omarion doing? I mean, it seems like he stood up physically on Saturday night, and is this maybe one of those games where you try to replicate what you did against UNLV against Boise?
Yeah, so, I mean, Omarion's playing some good football. There's some inconsistencies a little bit on Saturday, but, I mean, you talk about a guy, I mean, he had a big-time tackle on third, not just in his coverage ability. He had a big-time tackle on a 3rd and long on the tailback where he flew across from the middle of the field to get the tailback down and hold him up short and cause a punt. I mean, Omarion's playing at a high level. And I mean, he's going back home. He's from Northern California, so I know he's excited. But even talking to him this morning, he's like, Coach, it's all about San Jose State. Like, I know I'm going to have a bunch of family member there, but it's all about San Jose State. So we're still looking at it. I mean, they move Nick Nash around a lot. I mean, he's in the slot. So I'm excited for our safeties and our nickels and our dimes and finding ways to create some different matchups with him.
They've had 2 quarterbacks. I think Egat, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you know, he kind of has taken over. But what do you see from both of their quarterbacks?
Yeah, I think, you know, both of them can run this offense very efficiently. And I respect offenses that really know who they are, but they will attack you. And that's what I really respect about this offense is they're gonna run their stuff, and they're very efficient with it. They know how to coverage adjust all their routes, so there's always going to be open receivers, or they're going to get themselves in the best look. But they will run not only their run plays, but their pass concepts versus what has attacked our defense. I respect that. And so we got to do a really good job in our self-scout, looking at the things that have hurt us in the run game, obviously especially the pass game, because we will see those this Saturday.
You mentioned the atmosphere. I mean, it's just kind of a different one with the one side with not really many seats, and then just kind of I think they only had 17,000 at their last home game.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of challenge is that from a standpoint, maybe having to kind of bring your own energy?
Yeah, we played there, BJ, back in 2019. And that's when they completely, I think at that point they just tore out the one side. So very similar setup. And I remember it being an atmosphere there. I don't remember what how many fans were there and what it was. Is it going to be as loud as Bronco Stadium or not? Who knows? But we are on the road. And I know when Boise State comes to town, that place will be packed out. They played really well at home this season. They played really well in general, but really well at home this season. From a decibel level and those kind of things, we'll see what comes out there. And if it's less than we expect, we'll be ready for crowd noise. It's my job as a head coach to make sure our team's ready for everything. Or if it's a situation where it's not as loud as we think, yeah, absolutely, we got to bring our own energy. It doesn't matter where we play. If it's at home, on the road, we got to be ready to go. And we got to make sure as a staff, our players are ready for all sorts of environment. Might be a little bit of rain on Saturday. We got to be ready for those things. So that's my job as the head coach, BJ, to make sure either way, whatever the atmosphere is, our guys are prepared for both.
You mentioned the turnovers in San Jose. What do they look like? What are the strengths of their defense?
Yeah, I mean, first off, like I said, they're one of the top scoring defenses in our conference. So they do a really good job mixing up the personnel groups they use. They put players in a bunch of different spots, 3 down, 4 down looks. They've got really good pressures, and they got a lot of really good max drop type coverages to put quarterbacks in confidence. They do a really good job reading the quarterback too. I mean, when you lead the nation in interceptions, they're doing something really well. And the games that I've been able to watch today, I mean, they're also violent in regards to getting that ball out from forced fumbles. So it's a relentless defense. That's how they've been. I mean, same defensive quarter. I mean, it's 28-7. Last year we played them here on the Blue. And so, I mean, we know they're going to be relentless. We know they're going to have that chip on their shoulder in all 3 phases, and they're going to be very well coached.
One receiver caught a pass against Nevada. What was that a result of when you watched the tape, Spencer?
That's a good question, Johnny. I think it's just, one of those things that as you look at the game plans and how we're being attacked, how they want to attack a defense, it just comes down to coverages and where the ball goes.
How nice was it to get Breezy back and have that running back depth? And you kind of plan to get him more and more involved as the weeks go on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's big time to have Breezy back. And he was able to practice last week, was able to play a little bit in the game, and we need his role to grow. And that's going to be a testament to his practice this week to continue to earn the trust of his coaches and teammates. But very excited to have Breezy back, and he's going to have a huge role.
Was he kind of still on a limited count for this last game?
No, we're very mindful of him with the amount of games he's missed with the injuries he's had from fall camp to now. But no, we didn't go in with the snap count, but we got to make sure his role grows. But that comes by how you practice. And for Breezy to be able to get in there and practice a lot this week and really cut it loose, he'll get more reps in the game.
I know that Ashton might not necessarily lead the country in snap count, Spencer. If you look at his last 4 games, he's gone like 36, 32, 34, 36 touches.
Yep.
139 touches in a 4-game span. How uniquely gifted do you have to be to accumulate that total?
Yeah, I mean, Ashton's special. Not only in how he plays this game, but with taking that amount of snaps and that amount of shots, which he does, to be able to prepare to do that week in, week out. That's a testament to his process in the training room, how he gets his body ready for those. And I've been asked a lot, like, what is that number? Don't go into games saying, hey, this is the most or this is the least. We got to find a way to win every single game we play, and that's every team we play is in the same situation as we are. And so it's always going to be an in-game situation of when we give them the ball, how we get the ball in the perimeter, how we can get the ball to different running backs. But Ashton Genty's our guy, and he's the warrior of our team, and we got to make sure that he continues to prep and continue to take care of his body because he has taken a bunch of carries the past 4 games.
How different are his touches than maybe other people's touches? I would say. I mean, getting 140 touches almost. A lot of those between the tackles, where you got 2,000 pounds of human beings around you.
Yeah, I mean, every time Ashton touches the ball, there's 11 guys on defense that are trying to take a shot. And a lot of times, at least 9 of them are getting that shot on him. And that's the reality of playing the position. There's some things blocking-wise that we got to make sure we continue to get fixed and growing. Our guys are doing a great job. But there's always things we need to learn and grow and improve in. And his carries have been a lot. We've had to find ways to win these football games, and we're going to need to continue to do that. But we got to make sure we continue to get Breezy rolling too. Dylan Riley, Tyler Crow, get our receivers involved, our tight ends. We've got the weapons, and we got to continue to find ways to get them the ball. But I mean, we run the football here. That's our mentality. Yes, we have Ashton Genty, who's the best player in the country, but we establish a run game here, regardless of what a defense is showing us.
With that brace he's wearing on his left arm, yeah, it looked like that was the handy had a fumble. I mean, how is that? How's he doing? I guess how's that impacting things? Obviously, it's not slowing him down much at all. But I mean, what's he dealing with?
Yeah, BJ. I mean, by 9 games through the season, I mean, he's living the training room, and that's a testament to who he is, his mentality. He's got the brace on his arm. Did that affect the fumble or not? On film, maybe, but I think it's still something we can get fixed with fundamentals and techniques, and you know, that's how it is when you're running through the tackles. I mean, there's going to be hands and someone punching at the ball in all facets. We can't give the ball up there, and I know Ash is going to work to make sure that doesn't happen again. But I mean, he's been through a lot. I mean, he's an absolute warrior, and that's Ashton, that's Cage Casey, that's Ben Dooley, that's Ahmed. I mean, I can go through our whole team. When you get to this point in the season, yes, the amount of carries and shots that Ashton takes is probably different than anybody else on our team. I'm not crazy to see that different. But, I mean, our team's got to find a way to live in the training room. Our team's beat up. I promise you, San Jose State team's probably beat up. Every team is in that situation. We've got injuries. Other teams got injuries. It's next man up. Carry the flag. No one's going to feel sorry for any team that maybe has an injury or team that's banged up. So that's my message to our team is, guys, we got to find a way to make sure our process is the best it's been this week. But going back to your question, BJ, I mean, he's fighting through everything, man. He's a warrior. He's going to live in the training room to play his best football this Saturday.
Dirk's play calling style. You know, earlier this season, Madsen has I think a negative play, and he comes back with 2 long pass plays. In the past, Dirk Cutter has 4th and 1, and he throws the ball. Saturday, at the goal line situation, maybe a traditional run, he throws the ball. Do you like Dirk Cutter kind of catching people off guard? Of course you do, but how would you describe his play calling mentality and his style?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Cutter's on the attack. That's my best way to talk about our offense is we are on the attack. Everything we do is to attack a defense. I know that kind of sounds maybe out there, but that's what we do on 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down, 4th down. It's, yes, plays to catch guys off guard, yes, but it is we are on the attack. It's not we don't do any gimmick plays. It's not we're just doing this to keep a team honest. No, we are on the attack, and everything is blocked to score a touchdown. All our pass plays are drawn up to be explosive. Like, that's how Dirk Cutter and our offense is wired, and you love that. I mean, it is trying to attack what a defense does. Yes, we have DNA plays that we run, Mike, that this is our staple, and we want to establish in the run and pass game. And in critical downs, I mean, we're going to be on the attack too, from goal line to 4th down line we brought up. It's we're going to use our best stuff. Some games that's run the football. Some games in those critical downs it might be throwing it. It's really dependent on what our game plan is and what we're seeing from defenses.
Have you ever come in over the top and said, no, I want to do this, or is he every play?
I haven't. No, I mean, guys, and that's really in all 3 phases. I mean, I'll have conversations with guys, but I empower our coaches. I don't sit in there and watch the amount of film that any one of these coaches does. I don't have the time. I'm around our players. I'm focused on their training, their nutrition, their school, their life, recruiting. That's what this place needs me to do. I'm focused. I'm all chips on the table with our players. Yes, I watch the film. Yes, I'm in it, but not to the extent our coaches do. And so even in post-series, we'll have conversations about some things maybe I saw and some things, but in critical moments, I trust them. I want to empower them to where they've done the work. They've watched the film. They know our players. They know what the next thing they want to get to. And if that's what they call it. Let's roll. We got 11 guys. They got 11 guys. Let's go execute. And that's my mentality, BJ. I'm not out there to overthink our coaches. And obviously, after a game, we're going to look at where we're inefficient and where we can improve on. And if something comes up after a game, we're going to have those conversations to see, hey, what are we thinking here? This is some thoughts that I have. But it is not me, nor will it ever be me, hopefully, to where I second-guess coaches. I trust them. They put the work in there and they're grinding all the time to make sure the plans and the schemes we have in all 3 phases. We'll have conversations in between series, some things that I think can help. But when it's go time and one side of the ball is out there, it's their time to call their best stuff, and I want to empower them to do that.
So even on like a 4th down or something, you just say we're going for it, give me a play. You
Correct.
Don't say I want to run it here. Or anything like
Correct.
that.
Yep. Yeah, I try. And after those, we'll talk. But no, it's just, hey, guys, this situation, we're going to go for it. And I want Dirk or Chins or Stacy in those situations to make their best call. And if they ask me, I'm going to give them my thoughts. But I empower our coaches. Like I said, I trust them. I know the work they put in. I know the film they watch. I know they know our players, and I want them to call their best stuff.
You know defense, obviously your defensive background really well. You've game planned for star running backs before. And you're seeing how Genty is game planned against. What have you noticed that maybe is happening week in, week out, schematically against Genty that you didn't see the first couple, 3-4 weeks?
Yeah, I think even to start the season, and it's not like all of a sudden defenses have completely changed, like, oh, we got this running back out of nowhere. You know, Georgia Southern Oregon knew very well about Ashton Genty. But you're getting a defense, without question, you're going to get your defense's best base run schemes, whatever that is. If they're a 4 down, 3 down, whatever that might be, you're going to get their best run schemes. You're also going to get their best run pressures off of that, stop what we do and to find ways to get extra hats to the football, because it is on film. One hat is not always going to do it. And that's really what you're seeing. And it depends on what team. We will see different things that a team has not showed on film yet, that we will see maybe a different front structure, a different pattern to attack some of the stuff we're doing run-wise, Johnny. But you're going to get their best stuff. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but go find the team that has a run game similar to us, and you're going to see some very similar things. Yes, you're going to see a pressure of the week. You're going to see a goal line package or a short yardage package of the week. But you're going to get a team's best stuff. They're trying to find ways to get extra hats. That could be with the post safety. That could be playing zero. That could be playing trap. That could be, you're going to get a team's best stuff. And what you're consistently seeing on film is a defense continually finding ways to change looks, right? So that they're going to continue to go to the well to find out what fits them best.
Going Ken Yamato-Olo, I don't know if you were ever involved in the recruitment of his son or not, or just how much you know him, but just what'd you think of him taking that job and the you know how hard it is to win there and just how you think he's going to do there?
Yeah, like I was not involved in the recruitment of his son, so I mean the first just admired him from afar up until meeting him at the bowl game when he was a part of the UCLA staff. Prior to him even taking the San Jose State job, everything I've listened to a bunch of podcasts, read a lot about him, even prior to this year. I just think very highly of him, and everyone I've ever talked to that's ever worked for him or with him cannot say enough good things about him. And I would assume if I talked to players that played for him, they would say the same. And that's what really pulls at my heartstrings for a coach in this industry, that not only can win and be very successful, but that I believe does the right way, that is focused on impacting kids. And from afar, that's what he does. And meeting him at the bowl game, I was blown away by who he was as a person. We talked about family and kind of what matters to him in this profession. And so when he went to San Jose State, obviously San Jose State has had a lot of success. I knew that he was going to continue to not only go there and they win this year, but they're going to continue to be on the hunt to win championships there with his leadership. That's just who he is. He's going to always find a way to get the best recruits. He's a great recruiter. Does a great job schematically. Obviously, at Navy, they were the triple option, but now, run and shoot and how they're really able to attack defense, they're always going to be on the cutting edge schematically. But I know that those players are going to cut it loose. You just sit back and watch TV copies of his team in all three phases. They play relentless. Special teams, defense, offense. They play hard. I think that's a testament to him, his staff, and I got a lot of respect for him.
Going
You
into
mentioned,
game 10,
kind of. Oh, go ahead.
Going into game 10, I don't know if this is the name we've mentioned yet this year. You mentioned at the beginning of this that, some of the times in the years past you might let that game, might struggle to close it out. The play that stands out to me, Latrell muffs the punt, Cole Miller falls on it. If he doesn't fall on that ball, they get the ball in really great field position. It feels like that could be a huge turning point. How big was that play by Cole Miller?
Huge play by Cole Miller jumping on the ball. First off, let's not drop it, but it was a huge play by Cole jumping on the ball and getting. There are multiple plays in that game. Some of them don't go our way. We dropped the opening kickoff to start the second half. They're going to have the ball on the 5-yard line. Finds a way to get kicked out of bounds. We go on a 95-yard drive to score a touchdown. There's a lot of those things, and there's some negative ones. It's 3rd and 17. It's a missed assignment on defense, first down. Like some of those things, there's some consistency and execution that was not there at all times on Saturday. But what I have to keep hitting, and I really don't just say this because I'm talking to the media, I'm so proud of our team staying in the fight. No one blinked. There were some, we got to get some things fixed. Let's not get that twisted. There were some things we had to get fixed on the sideline and be prepared for the next series in all three phases. But our guys stayed together. The amount of guys that if the defense gave him a touchdown. The offense was right there. Hey, we got you. We got your back, brother. The turnover happens. The 2 turnovers. Defense is right there. Hey, we're going to go put the fire out, man. Come on, we got you guys back. That's what I love to see as a coach. Doesn't mean you're always going to win those games. We got to get those things fixed. But that's a testament to these kids, how much they love each other and the work they put in.
Back to Ken Niumatalolo, you mentioned kind of the differences of his offensive philosophy at Navy and now at San Jose State. As a coach, how hard is it to kind of change like that and especially do it as seamlessly as he's made it seem to be?
Yeah, and I wasn't a part of obviously the situations and the decisions he made on what offense or defense or special teams to go with, but knowing just about him, he hired really good coaches. And I believe in a very same model, like hire really good coaches and let them go put those plans into action. And that's what I believe he did. And I'm sure he's involved in all 3 phases. He's a brilliant football mind, but he hired really good coordinators that can go put these plans into motion regardless what the schemes are. They're going to be very efficient. They have been.
How about just the continued progress of a guy like Ty Benefield and how he's coming along and
Yeah.
how his play has kind of steadied over the season too?
Yeah, Ty Benefield's playing really well. And especially the position he plays at safety, if there is ever a mistake, everybody knows, right? And that's the reality of playing safety and playing DB is if the D lineman's wrong, no one in the country is going to know. We will. We'll get it fixed. But that's the razor's edge you live on when you play defensive back. Ty Benefield's a big-time football player for us. Not only in how he practices, how he preps, how he leads, how he communicates, but we put a lot on him from coverage to run fits to checks. We put a lot on him, and this young man is relentless at how he preps. He consistently at practice leads our GPS loads. We rank, all our guys consistently from fall camp to now is always number 1 on the GPS loads because of how he practices, how relentless he is at practice to get to the football and make the plays. I joke with him, we have those Thursday practices for us is more of a walk-through tempo. I mean, Ty Benefield makes every tackle, right? Because even if he's on the far side, and I'm the guy like, Ty, slow down, man. It's a walk-through, brother. Like, I want to get your legs back. That's just how he's wired. And as a sophomore, he's going to continue to improve, but he's doing some really good things. I'm proud of him.
Your offensive line's obviously taking some hits throughout the year. I mean, how do you see their play the last couple of games? We're not seeing some of the size holes for action we've seen, but you're still top 5 in terms of sacks and things. I mean, how would you look at how you're trying to hang on here, keep more guys keep going down?
Yeah, BJ. I mean, obviously, especially in the fronts, as you get through the season, as one week turns to the next, and we're coming on game 10, everyone's beat up. And that's no different for our fronts, as I'm sure every front in the country. We've had some of our better players go down, and we've had to battle through and next man up, raise the flag. So I'm really proud of our line. Coach Keene does a great job. We're finding ways to rotate guys to make sure we continually find ways to build that depth. And it's next man up mentality. And that's how those guys practice, that's how they operate. I mean, and especially 2 guys that don't get enough credit are Cage Casey and Ben Dooley. I mean, 2 returning starters that practice the way they need to, prep the way they need to, and lead the rest of the entire group. And even with Mason and Roger that are going through injuries and haven't played, I mean, you talk about the leadership that they even bring on the sideline to practice, not able to do anything, but able to get out there and be able to help lead that offense. I mean, I'm really proud of the group, PJ. Yes, there's, just like anything, there's some things, run game-wise, some blocks we missed, some things we didn't do well. We got to get that fixed. But I'm just proud of them staying together. New guys rotate in and continuing to establish a run game, protect Maddox. I'm really proud of what they've done to this point.
I know you announced Mason was out for the season. Are you still hoping to get Roger back?
Yes. Yep. Hoping to get Roger back.
Spencer, I know I asked you this a couple weeks ago, but this really is like a year ago was a massive day in the history of Boise State football, in all honesty. How much more settled